I want to show you guys how to make this 3D vector triangle in Inkscape. Okay, so the first step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up our Inkscape app, and we're going to use a tool over here on the left that is the star and polygon tool. We did this with the cube, so we're going to go ahead and click on that. We want to make sure that we are on the polygon, not the star up here on top, and we also want to make sure that we have corners set to 3. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hold Control on my keyboard, and I'm going to drag out this triangle like so. Now you'll notice if I hold Control, as I spin it around, it kind of snaps to certain locations. You want to make sure you're holding Control so that when you get to that point pointing straight up like so, you can go ahead and let go of it, and then you'll notice that my dotted line around my triangle is perfectly straight across the bottom. You don't see any gaps there between the dotted line and the line around my triangle. Now some of you may have a line around it like mine does. If it does not have that, you don't have to worry about this stuff, but if you see that black line around your triangle, you're going to want to go ahead and hold Shift on your keyboard and click this red X over here on the left. That will get rid of that black line. Now also, my triangle is already set at the opacity at 50%. Yours may or may not be there. So if yours is up here on my fill and stroke button, you're going to have to move that down to about 50%. If you don't have your fill and stroke open, that is this button right here, right next to the T. Click on that. That will open up your fill and stroke menu. All right, so then again, set it at around 50%. I'm going to go ahead and then right click on this triangle. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to hold Control on my keyboard because I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to slide it over to about right there. If I go too far, make it too wide like so, you're not going to have a hole in the middle of your triangle. You want to make sure you have a little bit of a hole in the middle of your triangle. So we're going to go to about right there. That's probably pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and right click on it again and duplicate it again. Now for this one, what you're going to need to make sure that you have enabled here, up here in the top right hand corner is your snapping tools. In general, you usually have, it will be in the normal snapping menu that will pop up, but we're going to want to go to the advanced mode. So click on the advanced mode and then make sure enable snapping is checked, and then you're going to want to enable path intersects. So go ahead and click that button. And then I'm going to take this tip of the triangle here, this one right here, and I want to place it right where these triangles intersect. So this one that I duplicate, I'm going to slide down, and it should snap right to that point right there. You need to zoom in close so you make sure that it gets in the right spot. Alright, so now I'm going to take my pen tool, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this point right here, come across to this point, continue on down to this point. I'm just going to go all the way around to each point of these triangles like so. So we end up with a shape that looks like this. Go ahead and click on your select arrow, move that kind of off to the side, and then these other triangles, I just use those kind of as my guide, so I'm going to go ahead and delete those. I don't need those anymore. So now I have this green piece. I'm going to go ahead and right click on it and duplicate it and turn it red. And then I'm going to go ahead and slide this red one over so that this corner right here snaps to that corner right there. Like so. Go ahead and click back on the green, right click and duplicate. Then hold Shift on your keyboard and click on the red one and go to Path Difference. Now what we need to do is we need to cut this little piece off of this red piece here. So I'm going to use my pen tool, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this point right here, go straight across to this point, and then the shape that I make underneath it or around it doesn't really matter too much as long as I'm completely surrounding that little piece like so. Go back to your select arrow, hold Shift, click on the red, and then we're going to go Path Difference. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and right click on it and duplicate it. I'm going to click on it another time here so that I get the rotation handles. You'll see as I click on it, you should see these rotation handles. I'm going to hold control on my keyboard, grab one of those rotation handles and turn this around. As I'm holding control, you want to make sure that it turns so that it's perfectly straight across like so. And not like that. Make sure you get it so that it's straight across. And you want to make sure that you don't have any gaps between this dotted line and the bottom edge there. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and take this piece, I'm going to slide it down. I want this corner to match that corner right there. I'm going to take the other piece and I'm going to place it on top of this green one. And you'll notice that mine is kind of behind that green one. So I need to move it to the top. So here are my layer tools. I can go ahead and click on this and this will allow me to raise that piece to the top like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and hold shift and click on the other red one. So I have both red ones selected now. And go to Path, Union. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and right click on that red one, duplicate it. I'm going to make it blue. Click on it a second time here and get those rotation handles. Hold control on my keyboard. Scroll this around so that that point is pointing straight up again. Just like so. I'm going to take that point and I want to match it with this corner right there. So it's going to meet in that corner right there. Okay, so then I can go ahead and click on the green one. I don't need this piece anymore, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. I'm going to click on the blue, hold shift, click on the red. I'm going to right click and duplicate. Then I'm going to go Path, Intersection. I'm going to turn that intersection piece green. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and hold shift and click on the blue piece. And I'm going to go right click and duplicate both of those. So I have the green one and the blue one selected. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate them. I'm going to go Path, Difference, Path, Break Apart. And that should make the shapes kind of look like that. The blue ones are kind of separated like so. So I'm going to go ahead and click on off the shape and then click back on just this piece right here. Pull that piece off, hit delete. And actually I got an extra piece down here below. I don't need this piece anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And we're going to go ahead and click on this green intersect piece that we made. Go up to Path, Break Apart. Now you should have two separate pieces there. So then what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and click off the shape. I'm going to click on this green one. Hold shift, click on the blue one here and also this blue one. So I have those two blue ones and this green one selected. I'm going to go Path, Union. And actually I can get rid of this piece too. I don't need that. I'm going to go ahead and right click on this piece and duplicate it. I'm going to hold shift and click on the red piece. And we're going to go Path, Difference. Then I'm going to go ahead and click on the green, right click and duplicate, turn it blue. I'm going to click on it a second time so I get those rotation handles. I'm going to hold control and rotate it around so that it is in this position right here, like so. Nice and straight. And then I should be able to go ahead and snap this corner to that corner, like so. If you can't get it right away, you might have to zoom in. Sometimes you got to zoom in closer to get it. Now you can still see behind this one, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that piece behind it. I'm going to right click and duplicate on this one. I'm going to hold shift and click on this red one. And we're going to go Path, difference. Then take the select arrow and go ahead and draw a box around the whole thing. And over here on the fill and stroke menu again, we're going to take our opacity and turn it all the way to the right down here on the bottom. And now all that's left is to color it. So on the bottom you have lots of different choices that you can choose from. I want you to pick one that kind of a color family that you like or you want to use. I'm going to use this blue one here, I guess. The red ones I'm going to make my light color, so I'm going to pick this one here. The green one is going to be somewhere in between, and then this blue one here, dark blue one, is going to be my dark one. So I have basically 3 blue ones from the same kind of color family, I kind of call them. So I'm going to start with the light colored one. I'm going to click over on, make sure you're on the fill tab, and we're going to click on this button right here, which is the linear gradient. Click on that, and you'll notice that there are kind of a couple what I call stopping points. You have a stop color here, a stop color here. And basically what that is it kind of shows you where they're at, kind of gradients from, you know, a darker color to a lighter color. But it's really not a lighter color. If I was to take this piece and take it off, you'll actually kind of see through it. It's transparent. So we don't want it to be transparent on this corner. We want this corner to be white. And this is the button that is the light side over here. And you'll see that there's like that little checkerboard behind it. That means it's transparent. We need to get rid of that transparency and make it more opaque. So with letter A here, you can take this little slide and bring it all the way to the right, and that will turn up the opacity on it. But it looks now like it's all one color. I still want to make it look like it's a gradient. So with the colors up here, we can kind of adjust them, play around with them, until you get a lighter color that you kind of like that, like so. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on each one of these. So I'll click on this blue one, linear gradient, click on this stopping point button, turn the opacity all the way to the right, and then make that side a little bit lighter. Again, you can kind of play around with it how you want it. You want to make this one maybe a little, you can do that as well. Kind of your choice, but I do want it to kind of blend from one color to another once you use those linear gradients. So we'll do the same thing with this last one. Go ahead and adjust the opacity, and then you just make one side a little bit lighter than the other. And there you go. I'm going to actually turn this up a little bit so it doesn't look so white. There we go. Alright, so and that's basically it. Once you get that, you can go ahead and click File Save or Save As. I would definitely call it something other than Untitled. Triangle is a good thing to call it, so that when you're looking for it, I'll know what it is. Alright, so if you have any questions, you can ask me as you're doing it, and there you go.